Ricky, after the events that have happened in the past couple of weeks, why did you feel it was necessary to hold this rally today?
In our country, in our world, but I'll just say in our country, we still have a lot of deep wounds that we have never addressed. And many times, we don't address them until it's something devastating or an atrocity that happens. We don't want to wait for that. We want to take action now. Someone needs to do it. It's time for someone to do it, with love and healing being the primary message. So that's the reason.
But I've kind of lost track of time. I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before when you ended up meeting with Chris Bainey at Just Wing It, and he apologized for the incident. It may not necessarily have been what you wanted to hear, but he apologized for the incident. So why is it still necessary to sort of rally the community together?
Well, there was an apology for the incident. There wasn't an acceptance of responsibility for the incident and for what we believe happened, and I have to say it that way because I wasn't there. But character and truth always prevail, and that's what I look at. I don't feel truth was told then, so that's why we went forward. We gave plenty of opportunity at that time for truth, in our opinion, to come out without taking it any further. But when we feel it didn't, then we had to look at what was next. This has nothing to do with that. This is moving on to talk about what do we do, where we live, work, and play to make a difference.
And that was one isolated incident that we know of. I mean, obviously other things could happen, but one that became public, one isolated incident. So why was it necessary, kind of based on that incident that maybe is not, maybe was just an isolated incident, to have so many people gather here in Annville? Like, do you
racial
see
tensions run deeper than that incident. Racial tensions run in so many circles. I've seen them, I've witnessed it. Just at our church, Life Center in Harrisburg last Wednesday, we had a panel discussion, 3 couples, and talked about just experiences and the tensions and what we can do to move forward. So I think it's something whose time is past. And as I mentioned earlier, Martin Luther King and many others talked about these very things over 50 years ago. We're still dealing with them. So I think it's time to take it from a positive, not a fight, but a heal. An effort to heal, an effort to allow people to come together and talk to one another and share their stories and share their experiences, and then have those experiences validated versus having people spoken about and talked at. Let's sit down and talk to one another. And as I said earlier, when we do that, we will find we have more in common than not in common.
Okay, and one of the things you talked about is saying this was bigger than your son and bigger than you. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Well, as I've said already, I believe, the reason for that is, again, look at the world we live in. Look how many times we've been in situations where we've heard people say things that we know are not appropriate. But do we take the courage to address it out of fear that we could lose a job, out of fear that someone would unfriend me, or do we just laugh it off and call it a joke? So we are just vessels that I believe God is working through at this time. But this is nothing new. And I don't know in my lifetime if racism will be eradicated. But here's what I believe will happen. We will reduce it through healing. And that's why this is important to me. And it's bigger than Ricky Bugg Sr. and Ricky Bugg Jr.
What would you say to someone who's been following the story the past few weeks and may see the people rallying here today and think, like, why not just let this be? I mean, after you had your say, your son had your say, Chris Bainey had a say. For anyone who's been following the story might say, why not just, let it die?
Too many times we let things like this die and then something worse happens. I can't let something that's not true just rest. If my son has lied, I'd be the first to call the media and say, this is what happened, because I know the character that I want to walk in and want to represent for my family, and that's important to me. If Chris Bainey has lied, that will come out. So I'm going to say let character, let truth prevail. So it's always important for me to take that stand. And only from that position can I move forward. If a person can move forward from a lie, we've done that too much in our country. Look at our history. And so today, we have all kinds of stories coming out of things that happened that have been covered. It's time to uncover. It's time to deal with truth, but from a position of love and with a desire to heal. No room for bitterness, only room for getting better.
And I know you said today is not about Chris Bainey or Just Wing It, but in light of the last meeting with him, or at least public meeting, I don't know if you've met with him privately, but the last public meeting with him, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Thankful for Eddie.
Yes, for you and me both. Oh, but you know, how do you move on where you're not getting the apology that you want from him?
This isn't. Not only is this not just about Ricky Buggs. It's not about Chris Bainey. I can't control what he does, and neither can I allow myself to react to it to where I would be bitter. That doesn't help me. Forgiveness is to help the person that's doing the forgiving. So I have to make sure I'm whole and healthy if I'm going to talk about healing. Yes, would I like a sincere apology, but more for him than for me. I still have to move on and do what I know I need to do.
Have you forgiven him?
In my heart, yes, I hold no grudge. And the reason I'm able to do that, since you're asking, have I forgiven him? I've had things happen in my past before, and I've had to forgive, whether I was asked to or not. Atrocious things, racism. But I'm not going to call myself a victim and say, woe is me. I'm going to look at how can I grow? How can I be a better person? How can I allow God's light to shine through me to help others who may still struggle with it? So it's bigger than me, and I realize that. So yes, I've forgiven Chris Bainey, but forgiveness doesn't mean you forget, and forgiveness doesn't mean that you still don't seek accountability and ask for responsibility.
And what do you believe was not true that was said at the restaurant during their press conference?
For that, at this point, a couple weeks ago, I would have answered that. At this point, I'm referring all that to the attorney. And the reason for that is I feel the train has left the station. We gave ample opportunity at that event for healing at that moment, for sincerity, and for what we believe would have been truth. When that didn't come forward, then we said, how do we move forward? Still not focusing on Just Wing It and Chris Bainey, but focusing on what we want to be about, which is total healing.